Welcome to Boys Town's micro lesson on behavioral specificity. The benefits of observing and specifically describing behaviors include aiding in teaching students, making them aware of their specific, inappropriate, and appropriate behaviors, providing students with clear sets of expectations, and helping them to engage in appropriate pro-social behavior in the future. Teaching behaviors aids in building relationships by letting students know that you care for their well-being and will not judge them. Benefits of specifically describing behaviors helps staff avoid overreacting to inappropriate behaviors. This decreases the likelihood that the student will escalate their negative behavior. Research shows that kids prefer being told exactly how and what to do, making it easier for them to meet expectations and experience success. The Boys Town education model is behaviorally based. We believe that behavior is learned and therefore can be changed or taught. Our model advocates for teachers to be more proactive, spend a substantial amount of time setting students up for success, reinforce students for engaging in positive behaviors, and use proactive teaching and praise consistently to help decrease problem behaviors and the need for correction. Whether we're proactively teaching, reinforcing, or correcting behaviors, it is important to be specific. When describing the actions of a behavior, we refer to this as behavior specificity, which will be the focus of this instruction. The ability to observe and describe behaviors will have a great impact on helping students acquire the ability to recognize positive and/or negative behavior. Behavior is defined as anything that a person says or does. So behavior can be seen, heard, and measured. Behaviors that are loosely defined, such as messing around, are more difficult to change because they could involve a number of different behaviors. On the other hand, behaviors that are specifically defined, like leaving your seat or talking to peers during instruction time, can be addressed more effectively. Describing behavior effectively can be thought of as an instant replay of what we saw or heard. This means that the descriptions are worded so clearly that the behavior could be repeated or reenacted by someone who had not observed the behavior originally. It is mirroring someone's behavior back to them in a descriptive, non-judgmental manner. The goal for behavior specificity is to clearly communicate expectations and provide accurate performance feedback. When we describe behaviors, we want to use specific, observable, measurable language describing what we saw and heard. We want to avoid vague judgmental terms like lazy. We want to remember to label the behavior and not the child. So start with something like, just now I saw, or I heard you say something like. Effective descriptions are repeatable. When hearing your description, another person should be able to visualize what happened. Use action verbs. When quoting a student, it's better to paraphrase than to provide an exact quote, as it creates the potential for argument, as the student may reply, "I didn't say that." So using paraphrasing like, "You said something like," rather than "you said," is a better option. Let's take a look at some vague terms that are often used and how we might provide more specific examples. Take the word lazy. That doesn't give us a clear picture of what behavior is occurring. Instead, we might say sleeping or not completing work. Instead of cooperative, we might say sharing or taking turns. Instead of responsible, we might say being on time or turning in work. Instead of aggressive, we might say slamming books, yelling, or hitting. Let's take a look at how a teacher might use behavior specificity in a proactive teaching.
One very important thing that we've been working on for the past couple of weeks, and we've really put a lot of energy into focusing on it this week, you're about to work in your groups. And this week you guys put the Boys and Girls Town skill of working with others in your own words. And we've built on that all week across all of the classes. When you get ready to start working in just a moment, make sure that you know your job. Hopefully you know it based on this information, right? Cooperate. Pitch in. Be positive. Talk in a calm, quiet voice. Be a good listener. And stay focused. I've seen all of this so far as we begin our discussion together. So I'm hoping that I'll continue to see it in your groups.
In this example, we saw the teacher talk specifically about behaviors she had seen and expects. In this next example, we see the teacher use specificity while praising her students. Be sure to note the language she uses as she compliments their cooperative skills.
You guys are doing a great job. I love how you've already got that going. You're working well as a group. You guys are flying. Good job.
Here we saw the teacher specifically point out how the group got started quickly and were working together to complete their task. Now let's take a look at a correction and how the teacher describes the behaviors observed.
Dang, yo, it's in the way, yo. Get it off my desk.
So why are we using this?
Excuse me. Okay, I know this may be a task that might be a little bit difficult for you, but what I need you to do, calm down, okay? You're yelling, you're saying, telling him to shut up, you're really being disrespectful to each other. I need you to follow the task. Look at the board of working together. Identify the task that you need to be doing. Okay? Assign each other a task. You want to work together, and you want to discuss what you need to do, and then just work cooperatively. Okay? Can we do that?
In this example, we heard the teacher describe the behavior she observed as well as the behavior expected. Remember that specific descriptions of individual behaviors are used within the context of teaching. It's critical to the teaching of behavior. By being specific, behavioral, and objective, we help students begin to see how their behavior affects others. Observing and describing behavior is an important component for teaching students to make appropriate behavior choices.